Welcome back, everybody, to the TK Racing Diecast Late Model Series here on Grease Vision. I am once again joined by my colleague, Logan Joyner. Logan, how's it going, man?
Going great, man. I figured about 30 minutes ago I'd jump in here and try to drive one of these things again and embarrass myself. Don't have much practice at all. Haven't driven a while still, and we're about to go out for qualifying here and see how bad I can screw this up.
It sounds like you're in for a night full of fun, but that's what we're all about here for Greasecar. So I think it should be a good time. We've definitely had some interesting races, for better or for worse, the last few weeks. Last week we did see Mike McConville take the checkered flag. He's 1 for 1, so that perfect 100% win rate here in the TK Racing Diecast Late Model Tour. But see if he can go back to back. I see a lot of drivers so far this week that some we haven't seen in a couple weeks. Others you'll definitely recognize as soon as you see them on track, including champion or pretty much I don't know what the math is on it, but I gotta imagine Drew Wooten's almost wrapped this thing up, this championship race up. But we will have to work with Davis and get the numbers and everything. Maybe we can get that to you next week to let you know if he's officially locked it up or not. But if we take a look here at the track facts for tonight, so we are at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, opened in 1964 with a capacity of 76,000. It was originally named Breyer Motorsports Park back in 1964, and they renamed to New Hampshire Motor Speedway in 1990. The track mascot is Milo the Moose. Unfortunately, we don't have a picture of Milo. That would be cool. Banking, another flat track this week, so similar to what we saw last week at Langley. Banking in the corners is only between 2 and 7 degrees, so a little bit of I would say a little bit of progressive banking, and I really mean a little. In the corners here, straight's only 1 degree, so pretty much a true straightaway, if you will, for New Hampshire. And as we take a look at the race analysis, we are here tonight for the Hooked Pirate 47, presented by DMW Graphics. So 47 laps for, it says 47 miles, but I actually did see Davis say something about that this track is just over a mile long, I believe 1.038. So I think the way that the math works out is it does end up being just about 50 miles. So Logan, I think that answered our question earlier of why we did 47 laps and not 50, but makes sense. Good news for these guys. Pit speed is also 47, so 47s are everywhere tonight. Unfortunately, we don't have a driver with the number 47. That would be pretty cool.
That'll be my starting position.
Yeah, so looks like plenty of gas for tonight and one extra set of tires. So I know last week some guys tried to split up the strategy, tried to run hard at the beginning and hard at the end with a pit stop in between. Didn't quite work out for him. We've seen it work out at other tracks, so I think it's going to be kind of another guessing game tonight. Whether a one stop or no stop is going to be the strategy call of the race. The track record here is held by none other than Brad Keselowski in the Cup car in 2014 with a 27.090.
Well, Nathan, after you started the broadcast, your mic became a little scratchy / glitchy. Sure, anything you can do for that?
Not sure. Give me 1 second. We can talk about our schedule here. Let me see if I can fix that.
Seems to clear it up.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
Back to it. I didn't change anything, so I'm not sure. But for the remaining schedule, so it is actually incorrectly listed here for New Hampshire. It's not the Green Mountain Showdown. As we said, it's the Hooked Pirate 47. That's tonight's race. Next week, we go to Stafford for the McConey Setup Shops 100. And then on the first week of May, our season finale, the TK Racing Diecast Moonshiner at North Wilkesboro. So Logan.
Well, I did it again. I did it the same thing that I did last time I ran this series. I forgot to run my third lap. I slowed down and just didn't run it.
Oh, no. Distracted by the excellent commentary, I'd have to imagine. But, I mean, how's it feeling? I know we were talking while you were doing some practice, and you said it seems like it wears a lot of the right side pretty quick, but other drivers are kind of saying, no, those right sides, just let them burn. They'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to think. Like I said, I hadn't had much practice. It's super tight on entry, but then it rotates very good in the center, and it's just a tiny bit tied off, but not anything bad. I wish it was on the a little bit more of the looser side, but I think it's going to be fun. Definitely going to be a lot of close racing if I had to predict. But we're about to roll into these kicking the tires heats right now.
Absolutely, yeah. We were talking so much we didn't even get a chance to look at qualifying, but just real quick, take a look at the qualifying results here, and it looks like Eric Purcell is going to take home our Castle Quick Time Award tonight. So, familiar face to some of the longtime fans of the series. Hasn't been around in a couple weeks, but he does take pole tonight. We've got Brad Carpenter in second, Braden Campbell in third, Davis Warren, league owner, in fourth, Travis Ellington in fifth, Mike McConville sixth, Johnny Eckert seventh, Logan Joyner, our very own broadcast driver, in eighth, ninth, Chad McLeod, 10th is going to be Drew Wooten, 11th, Dennis Wilder Jr., 12th, Nick Priest, and 13th, Garrett Thompson. So I do believe just one heat tonight.
No, it is two tonight.
It is going to be two. That's lovely. So I think how this is going to work for, in terms of how the field is created for the feature race, is similar to how we've seen it in weeks past, where the top five, I guess overall, whenever both heats are combined, the top five will get inverted. I believe that's how it's going to work. We'll have to kind of see how everything goes since I think this is the first week in a couple that we've had two heat races.
Yeah, so I'm not seeing anything about an invert, but iRacing might not be showing me that. I'm still really bummed about the third lap of qualifying because I ran a lot faster my second lap. I just wish I'd like to see what I could have done on my third lap after my tires got warm there. I don't know.
There's always next time.
Yeah, there's always next time, right?
Or unless you forget again.
The next time late model stocks run in New Hampshire.
Exactly. Yeah, just have to wait around. But
it's like,
yeah.
Here we go. We're about to start rolling here. I can, share the booth with you for this first heat race, which will be nice.
That is true, yeah, because you will be racing in Heat 2, but in this one we're going to have Eric Purcell and Braden Campbell in the front row. Row 2, Travis Ellington and Johnny Eckert. Row 3, we're going to have Chad McLeod and Garrett Thompson, and then the only car in the last row is going to be Dennis Wilder Jr. Looks like right now he's kind of electing for that high side. Don't know if he'll drop down behind Chad here at the bottom. And it looks like some of these guys' numbers aren't correct, so they're running some custom schemes here tonight, so bear with us if we call out the wrong number, because it's what we're seeing is a little bit different than what is actually on track. But Logan, lights are out on the pace car, man. These guys are getting ready to go.
Yeah, here we go. I gotta watch what these guys are doing here and learn a little something from these professionals here, because I'm damn sure not one.
Looks like pace car should be pulling off this time. Pace car's off, and we're on a green.
Yeah, it looks like the car on the outside, the number 33 of Braden Campbell, did not get a good jump. It looks like, I don't know, maybe he spun the tires, or I have a hard time imagining that he spun the tires with this high of a gear ratio, but maybe he just got a slow start. Number 59, Twisted T car making the pass on the inside. Eric Purcell going down into turn 3 in the P1 position.
Yeah, and I mean, Travis Ellington, he does have one win this season. Looking to make it 2 tonight. Very stout competition. Trying to make it work on the outside. Does seem to help him with the run down the straights and on the exit of the corner. But you'll see Johnny Eckert, who had a great drive last week, able to make so much ground up on the entry of that corner where it looks like he's almost able to clear there. Not quite this time.
Yeah, just a reminder, this heat race is only 4 laps because this track is so big. So not going to be, we're already halfway coming to the line here. So if you want to make a move, it's got to be quick.
Absolutely. Eric Purcell in the lead, starting to kind of create a gap as P2 and P3 fight behind him. Doing everything he can. Johnny Eckert dives it really deep into turn 1. Tries to close the gap as much as possible and try to make a run at the lead.
I think Eric Purcell probably has this one locked up. I just don't see the number 90 of Johnny Eckert making the time up in 2 laps, but maybe he can. Might be eating my words here. Looks like he might have closed up the gap a little bit. Maybe a hard push here in a turn 1 might get him something.
Yeah, we'll have to see as drivers take the white. Eric Purcell still in lead, takes a very conservative, narrow approach to the corner, but a great exit despite not building up not keeping a lot of minimum speed throughout the corner. Johnny Eckert, though, able to close up. He's going to look to the inside below the yellow line, but it's not going to be enough. Eric Purcell, after taking a few weeks of hiatus, comes back and wins the first kick in the tire heat race.
Speed. I am speed.
All right, Lightning. Let's see what you got here. You're starting 4th.
Don't get too excited.
Well, I guess the first question is, did you learn anything from what you
I
just
did.
saw? Well, that's good. It looks like for the second Kick in the Tires heat race tonight, Brad Carpenter and Davis Warren are going to share row 1. Mike McConville and Logan Joyner in row 2, and Drew Wooten and Nicholas Priest back in row 3.
Oh, man. Never a good feeling when you've got the league owner in front of you,
I know. You never want to do something that's going to make him mad, because he does have the authority to hit you with that band hammer whenever he wants. So.
Yeah, he does. Should we give him a little love tap before we start here?
I mean, it couldn't hurt, right?
He's running away from me.
That pace car must be going pretty quick.
I was trying to keep it in first gear. Here we go. We'll give him a little boop.
Just a little boop. Let him know you're there. All right, well, lights are out. Looks like Mike McConville is not able to grid up. That's going to advance Drew Wooten to the second row on the inside, with Nick Priest now the lone member of the third row. Lights are out on the pace car, though, so we will be going green as these drivers grid up nice and tight for this heat race. Pace car off. Green flag is out. And Brad Carpenter with a huge jump. Drew Wooten, though, with an even better jump. Gonna make up a 2-for-1 there into 1. And already looking underneath the leader. Don't think he's going to be able to make that quite work. Davis Warren able to fight around the outside. Try to fight back for P2. It looks like into the corner he has it, but again, Drew able to take that inside line away from Davis. Just helps him make up so much more ground in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, I'm kind of blocked here. I don't have much room to go anywhere.
I was about to say, both lanes are blocked. Drew dodged it really deep down into 1. Davis on the outside. Looks like Drew's going to be able to clear Davis. Logan Steve fighting back there with Priest. Looks like Logan's now alongside Davis as the top 3 have single filed out. Logan going to dive it down on league owner Davis way up the track. Able to settle the car, bring it back down. Logan and Davis are even. Davis tags the ball just a hair, not going to hurt the speed. Davis clear of Logan for now. Logan going to dive back to the inside, makes up all that ground lost on the straightaway. As we take a look here, 2 laps to go. Take a look at our leader, Brad Carpenter. He's under fire from Drew Wooten. Drew fakes the outside move, goes to the inside, leaning on him almost. Drew has the inside position. Can he get the run off the corner? He does. He's starting to edge clear of Brad. They're neck and neck at the line as they take the white flag. Drew Wooten dives it down on the last lap of the heat race.
Oh!
Looks like a little bit of contact there for P3, but that's somehow Davis able to make a move there and to get really close up to Brad's bumper as the leaders were fighting, but Drew Wooten just needs to get a good run out of the corner. It's going to be close at the line. Who's it going to be? Looks like Drew does have the run, going to make it happen for the heat win.
We're going to have a little payback back to this Number 10 and Nicholas Priest bumping me down the backstretch there.
Oh man, tensions are high already, and we haven't even gotten to the feature race. Love it, love it, love it. So, we're through both heats. A big congratulations to Drew
for the EOL.
Oh, Drew asking for an EOL, so maybe a little bit of back to front challenge for the current championship leader. We'll see how that works out for him. It's definitely a bold strategy and a field with really a lot of good drivers. I'm happy to see a lot of these guys come back that maybe haven't in a couple weeks. Definitely a lot of talent in this field tonight. 13 cars are on the card for tonight. So it looks like with Drew dropping back, that's really going to be interesting. But Eric Purcell and Drew Wooten are heat winners tonight. So congratulations to them. Hope to speak with at least one of them at the end of this race, pending nothing crazy or stupid happens. You'll have to watch all 47 to figure that out.
Logan, and the drivers are now singing.
I was about to say, are you cool, calm, and collected there in the cockpit of that
Oh yeah, machine? Man. That's just keep an eye on me in that 10 car, man. We're gonna have a little payback there. You know, I didn't like that position he stole from me. He just adored me. But you know, it is what it is. We'll see what happens.
You know, the same, man. Robin is racing, but I feel like tonight we talked about maybe the draft being a factor. I don't know how much of a factor it was in the heats with so few cars, but now that everybody's on track, I don't know, things might change.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure how far behind you are. Pace car's in the middle of 3 and 4 right now, but we're about to go green, so here we go, fellas.
Yeah, looks like Pace car is exiting 4 right now. He'll look to go down pit road. He does, and Eric Purcell leads to the green, and we are green. Eric Purcell with a good jump. Johnny Eckert with a really good jump. Able to put the bumper to Eric, push him out in front a little bit, helps both of them. A mutual relationship there as Eckert fighting for P2 immediately off of turn 2. Big battles there in the mid-pack. Is there 2
10 hits again?
Oh, the 10 and Logan get together. Nicholas Priest and Logan Joyner just get together a little bit on the backstretch. So we see Brad Carpenter try to hold off Johnny Eckert. Johnny looks really strong in that heat race. We'll have to see kind of the strategy that these guys go with.
Oh!
Early stages, Twisted T. Travis Ellington gets a little tap. He gets loose, able to collect it though. Logan giving Travis a nice push to get him back up to speed and momentum. So it looks like Dennis Wilder Jr. looking to take the position away from Travis Ellington. Travis kind of in a box right now, nowhere to go. Gonna have to follow behind Priest. Does just that, but that opens the door for Dennis Wilder. Dennis looking to make it 2 for 1. Not gonna happen. A little too greedy with that. So the rest of the field, other than Dennis Wilder Jr. here, has pretty much single filed out. Some really close racing, a lot of multi-groove tonight, which is always good to see. I feel like so many of these tracks have been bottom feeding tracks, so definitely nice to see some different lines tried out by these drivers. Logan, you got 3 cars right in front of you in a line. What's the call you're going with right now?
You know, they're saying the tire saving's not going to be a thing. I have to think it's going to be. So I'm just trying to, take it easy right now. Stay on this outside. Not try to turn the car too much. Not try to get back to the throttle too early. And keep cars from passing me all at the same time. It's very challenging.
Yeah. It seems to be that high side is definitely the way to go in terms of keeping that minimum speed up. Although, you definitely sacrifice just the sheer amount of length of the track that you gain the advantage on at the bottom. But looks like these guys have pretty much single filed out throughout the whole field. Eric Purcell still in the lead with Brad Carpenter, Johnny Eckert not too far behind. A pretty healthy gap between all these cars so far. Probably the only exception so far being the group of 3 in front of Logan. They're a little bit more tightly packed than others. That's Nick Priest, Dennis Wilder Jr., and Travis Ellington. So we see kind of 2 packs start to form. We've got the group led by our leader, Eric Purcell, and then a little bit further back behind Travis Ellington, we've got the group led basically by Garrett Thompson. So that separates the field between the top 7 and then the remaining 6. So kind of similar to what we saw last week with some of these guys, saving other drivers just really sending it here in the early stages of this. Not as many laps as last week, but a longer track nonetheless. So gotta see how these strategies play out. Looks like Brad Carpenter still able to keep a good gap to Eric. Johnny dropping a little further back, as is Davis. Davis now in the clutches of Nick Priest for P4. And Nick's got a lot of friends behind him that also want that position on Davis. So we'll have to see how Davis is able to defend this position. As you got to imagine a move's coming sooner rather than later, as it seems like track position right now is everything.
Yeah, right now, I don't know. I mean, these laps are winding down quicker than I thought they would. I don't know that tire saving is going to be the move, but kind of stuck to it now, so I got to kind of roll with it. It's too late to turn my decision around, so we'll see what happens.
You're not the only one, though. I mean, 2 cars behind you, you've got championship leader Drew Wooten, so usually if you're doing something like him, you're doing something right. So we'll have to see. Definitely, like we said, a bold strategy call. Qualified P2 and elected to start at the rear. So I don't know if that was for that was a personal call or if that was due to an outstanding penalty that he had to serve, or what was really going on. But we see him back here battling in 11th. So he's going to try to make the move here onto Mike McConville. He does just that. Able to get clear of him. Side by side here with Logan. Mike, though, going to push it 3 wide. Leaving a lot of room up to the top 2 cars. He drops back in line, thinks better of it. Drew going to dive it deep into 1. Past Logan, trying to make up a ton of ground. He's currently about 4.5 seconds off the leader. So a lot of work to make up here in really not a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm going to try to follow him here and see, maybe he normally knows what to do, so I'm just going to follow the king here. If I can.
Yeah, keeping up with him for a few laps is one thing, but for the whole race, I mean, he's shown week after week that he's been here. I mean, we did see him almost lap the entire field one race, so it's definitely a tough task. A strong driver Drew Wooten is, but see Purcell starting to create a little bit more of a gap than we saw in the early stages of this race to Brad Carpenter. Brad now about 4 tenths back. That gap was as low as about 2 tenths just a few laps ago, so only on lap 13 of this, but remember, we only got 47 tonight, so there's it's not a lot of time for to be made back up, but we'll have to just see how drastic the fall off is. I think that's going to be the question for a lot of these drivers, especially the ones in the lead pack that have been running at a faster pace.
Yeah, just watching the lap times. The leader's still running faster lap times than me. So not sure if he's just really pushing that thing, or maybe I'm just doing something completely wrong.
You'd have to imagine so, because I mean, it looks like the last lap, I mean, pretty much it's pretty uniform across the field that the further back you are, the slower you're running. So I mean, even for guys like Drew Wooten that we know are really good at tire saving, they're running slower lap times than the leaders are. It looks like it's now starting to kind of even out a little bit. Drew Wooten, actually Logan, you ran your best lap of the race so far with 31:12, so obviously showing some good consistency there. A little bit quicker than what the leader ran. you see Eric start to get caught by Brad again. Brad able to close that gap back down to 2/10. So maybe Brad figured out something, and the guys behind him that, hey, Eric, you're pushing a little too hard. Let's not chase after him. Let's just let him come back to us. Looks like Dennis Water Jr. Oh, go on.
And definitely seem to be catching the 75 of Garrett Thompson here.
Yeah, you guys are definitely closing in on him. I was going to say, it looked like Dennis Water Jr. wasn't quite happy with his position, looking to make a move on Nick Priest, but thinks better of it. Into 1 and 2. He's going to try to do a little crossover out of 4. Does he have the run? He just has his nose in there. Is he going to back out of it? He doesn't. He sends it in there on Nick Priest. Nick going to concede the position. Don't know if Dennis is going to be able to complete the pass on that corner, though. Not quite. Oh, he does. Nick is going to back off, let the position go to Dennis Water Jr. So I think that's maybe one of the first moves we've seen happen in just one corner. Maybe aside from a move Drew Wooten made onto Chad McLeod, or sorry, Mike McConville. But other than that, it's usually taken about a full lap to make just one move. So as the case for most of the tracks, it's difficult to pass these things. And Logan, like you're saying, it almost feels like you're driving like a Miata out there or something, just very low speed.
Yeah, I've actually, the past 2 laps ran my fastest laps of the session, so I'm not sure the tire saving was the move here. I think I might have shot myself in the foot.
Well, I mean, you gotta imagine if you're Drew, thinking the same thing. He's closing in on Garrett Thompson here. The gap's only about 3/10 now. Garrett opting for the super high line, getting a really good run, but honestly, at this point, I think that's only going to help Drew close in on him. Just allow him to tuck back into the slipstream and get closer and closer to that rear bumper. But that's the battle for 8th between Garrett and Drew Wooten. Take a look back here in the midfield. Dennis Water Jr. now looking to make the move on Davis Warren. Made about a half of an attempt there. Not going to be enough to even stay alongside him down the back straightaway. Oh! Dennis Water Jr. into Davis Warren. That's going to bring out the yellow. So strategy is out the window at this point. Let's take a quick look at that on the rec replay. I got a feeling some of these guys just got bailed out. Let's see. We were watching that battle, so pretty much on it, but take a look here. Looks like Dennis just rolling the center, keeping that speed a little bit faster than what Davis was expecting, or maybe he was expecting. And Davis's speed, it just taps him around, and it's going to bring it out.
We're about halfway, so I would imagine everybody's going to come pit here.
I feel like you have to pit here, else there's no way to. I know you said the tire wear doesn't look too bad. I'd be interested to see what the percentage of the tire you have left is after this stop, just to see how much is actually worn. But Logan, I think now is we've entered the chaos zone, because the people that have been up front, they know that I just pushed 20 laps. I can probably push 25 and be okay till the end of this thing.
Yeah, so my right front was at 85%, which would have been concerning, but I did a little something here and took right sides only, so we'll see how that plays out for us.
Yeah, interesting strategy call. Looks like Dennis Water Jr., the only one that didn't come in. I don't know if he's planning on taking the penalty, which I guess in a way would work out to him getting the lead if he doesn't pit. Not quite sure on how that's going to work out, but he elects to stay out. So he's basically committing to staying on this set of tires for the remainder of the race, because another caution comes out, and you're basically sacrificing the entire field worth of track position if you do come in. Granted to be on fresher tires, but pretty much no time to do much. So
we're just going to be, I think, 1 or 2 laps over halfway when we take the green. So
okay. Looks like Logan, with you opting for 2, been able to make a jump up in the standings. Also, it looks like Drew Wooten also may have been one to take 2, unless he was just really quick in and out, because he was able to make up, it looks like 3 to
3
4
spots?
positions. Looks like
Yeah.
he was able to get the position on Priest, Ellington, Campbell, and Thompson. So, and of course the position on Davis, who ended up spinning in that incident. So that's
I think maybe the difference there is he might have took fuel. I did not, so
that may be it. May have forgot that he got enough fuel to make it, but I don't know. I know
could have
that
been on purpose. It could have
it
been on
very
purpose.
well could have been on purpose with how these cars handle under full fuel instead of half empty or what have you. So have to see how this plays out. Drivers are getting lined up 2 by 2 here. Looks like the pace lights should be out.
Yeah, they are. We're 1 to green right now, going on the back stretch. We're ready to
All right.
rock and roll.
So Dennis Wilder Jr. on those old tires, gonna lead the field to the green. Gonna have Brad Carpenter alongside him. So Eric Purcell with not the best pit stop either. Maybe would help Brad to secure a win here tonight if Dennis's tires don't hold on. But pace car is off of turn 4. Drivers are looking to go green. And the green is out. Dennis Wilder with a huge jump. See Logan Joyner looking down to the inside. Gonna try to take the spot there off of Brad Carpenter. Brad way up the track, able to corral it and make the corner. And man, it is absolute pandemonium right now as these guys are firing on all cylinders. Logan, a little contact with Drew Wooten, currently 3
My bad, Drew. I
wide
didn't
off
mean to get into you there, bud.
You hear Logan apologizing over the radio. Drew able to help Logan down the front stretch, trying to clear Eric Purcell, who was in the lead. Eric sends it down into 1 alongside Logan there. Not quite able to make the pass. Logan's going to hold on to P4 right now. A little bit of contact further back. Travis Ellington, Nick Priest on the straightaway. And a little bit of contact in the corners. Nick Priest going to run Ellington out of room. Both drivers able to save it. But Nick Priest showing his displeasure for what happened there on the straightaway immediately with Travis Ellington. Looks like Dennis Wilder Jr., though, going to be able to maintain the lead on the same set of tires. Currently just ran his best lap time last time by. We'll have to see what this one is, but a lot of these guys going green in terms of their lap times, meaning that's their best of the session. So it's an all-out battle right now. Johnny Eckert, though.
Oh, big wreck.
Oh, big wreck. Drew Wooten involved is what I saw. Drew Wooten in the wall. Let's get a wreck replay on that one. Let's take a look at what happened. It looks like it's going to be Nick Priest involved in another instant here as we take a look here at the rec replay. Nick Priest on the outside, and yeah, it just looks like he came down a little bit too much. If we take another look at it here, looks like Drew's kind of committed to running right along that seam right there. Nick kind of same idea, but with the left sides, and just gets the car rotated a little bit too much. That's going to send Drew into the wall. So our championship leader looks to be out of the race. So I don't know if there's any implications there at this point, but trying to get back live for everybody here. Get the ticker pulled back up. There we are. But Dennis Wilder Jr., I don't know if that, I think that's kind of bad news for him, Logan. And you're able to kind of get out to a nice, healthy lead on old tires, and then another caution comes out not too long after.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting here because I think probably have about 15 to go with the restart. So I guess we'll find out shortly.
We might have a car in the catch fence by the end of the night. I think I'm making that call right now. Just with I think it's only to become more and more aggressive as the laps tick down.
Never know. It could be between our leaders here. I'm just hoping I can get another good restart. I had a pretty decent restart there. I got my work cut out for me. I've got Eric Purcell behind me, so that's going to be interesting to say the least.
Yeah, Eric, very aggressive driver, very fast driver too, but always a difficult car to keep behind you, and since he's got the speed, a difficult car to pass.
Nope.
So far in the race, Dennis Wilder Jr. and Logan, you two are currently tied for the Buffalo Transformer Services Hard Charger Award. Probably my favorite sponsor to ever say. But you guys are tied 6 spots up tonight. We do have somebody in the chat. It's the Grim Reaper himself, Matt Grimm, saying wishes he could have been out here tonight. But praising the stream. And Matt, we appreciate your comments, appreciate the compliments, and we wish you're out here too, man. Always fun to see the Grim Reaper out on track. So
definitely one of my favorite drivers, jack of all trades.
Absolutely.
Excellent on dirt, excellent on asphalt. Love to see him race and wheel a race car.
Absolutely, yeah. Hopefully we get you out back on track before the end of the 2024A season. If not, of course, love to have I'd love to have you and pretty much all these other guys that maybe have been missing a couple of these weeks back in the. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out what's happening with Dennis Wilder. Looked like he was having some internet issues, but nonetheless, love to have all these guys back for the B season as well. So Dennis Wilder having some internet issues here, but the lights are out on the pace car, so he's going to lead us to the green. The pace car is pulling off now. Dennis Wilder Jr. And we're back green here in New Hampshire. Dennis Wilder Jr. with another great launch here. Gonna put Brad Carpenter on the inside under fire immediately from Eric Purcell. Eric tries to fit 3 into turn 1.
Not sure if it'll be called, but Eric Purcell definitely changed lanes before the start-finish line.
Yeah, definitely a change of lanes there. It looks almost like Brad had missed a shift, so maybe it was for the best that he did that. Not really able to make too much of a gain as they're 3 wide here for 4th. Priest backs out of it behind Logan. Logan looking to make a move here on Brad Carpenter, who had a slow launch on this last restart. Eric Purcell is going to be right there behind him, looking to make the move on Nick Priest. Logan not able to make it this time by blocking both lanes. Gonna dive it down into turn 3. Priest all over his bumper. Priest, a little bit of contact. Able to complete the move. That's going to open the door for Eric Purcell as well. Dennis Wilder Jr., though, still able to stretch out a little bit of a gap on those old tires. Now the gap is up to 4/10, so definitely not, these guys that pitted behind him, which was the rest of the field, thought it might be easy to get around him after he stayed out on old tires. So not quite the case tonight. I believe Dennis looking for his first win tonight. Don't want to jinx it yet, but looking strong right now in the late stages of the race. Take a look back. Johnny Eckert and Brad Carpenter fighting hard for second. Kind of in a battle of their own right now. as fourth on back has dropped a little bit off of them, but they're all lined up. Nick Priest all over the back bumper of Eric Purcell. Is he going to make a move here into 3 as we see Brad Carpenter shoving Johnny Eckert out of the way into 3? Brad with an excellent move. Johnny, not the biggest fan of that, going to give him a little door just to show a little bit of displeasure, make it a little bit more difficult to get off the corner, but Brad Carpenter dives it down into 1. Is it going to be enough to clear on exit? It's not going to be. It's close. Johnny Eckert able to hang it around the outside. Ah, man, this is neck and neck here for P2. If you're Dennis Water, you love to see it. Brad gets to the throttle earlier than Johnny, makes up a little bit of ground, but not able to track out. That's bringing Eric Purcell and crew back into this fight for second. Like we just talked about, Logan Eric, a very aggressive driver, a lot of speed. So, you know, he's going to try to make quick work of these two. Currently not a gap for him, though, as these two are side by side pretty much around the whole track.
Yeah, this is wild. This is a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of bumping and banging going on.
Yeah,
very aggressive driving on here.
Yeah, as we kind of called it, right? We just knew with. Seems like the tires aren't falling off too much, as I mean, Dennis Wilder out to now a very healthy 1 second gap over the field. But Brad Carpenter looks like he might be clear here to the entry of 3. Eric Purcell going to dive down to the apron, look to make it 2 for 1 here. Not quite going to happen. Does get alongside Johnny Eckert, but I think he's going to have to settle and slide back in. Brad, though, not quite able to clear Johnny like I thought he would there. And Eric dives in again. This time it sticks a little bit better for him. So he's going to be leaning up Johnny on exit almost. Same kind of story there. Johnny going to take the inside here. Dives it underneath Brad Carpenter. Man, this is some great racing. 8 laps to go. These guys just continuing to trade spots here for P2.
Yeah, it's
Oh, it looks like Eric Purcell going to get into Brad Carpenter. That's going to send him to the wall. Caution is back out. As we go to the rec replay, Logan, sorry to cut you off. What was the in-race analysis there?
It's easy to catch somebody. It's very hard to pass.
Yeah, definitely seems to be the case. I mean, we just saw Brad and Johnny pretty much just running side by side for however many laps. But take a look here at the rec replay. Looks to be a similar case of what happened between Priest and Davis Warren. It looks like Purcell here just not quite aware. I did notice that Brad was really backing up the entry to the corner and really slowing down on entry, trying to get it to rotate. Probably part of the reason why he couldn't get past Johnny Eckert there for second. But yeah, just kind of a misjudge there from Eric Purcell. Can at least straighten him out, but I do believe Johnny did end up into the wall, so gonna have some damage there that needs to be fixed, as well as, of course, that sweet track position that he loses out on. It goes from fighting for P2, or at least a podium position, all the way back in 11th now. So a tough go for him. But Logan, man, you're in 5th with only you guys gonna have a natural green white checkered here?
Yeah, I think so. Looks that way. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna like starting on the inside a little better. Maybe not. I don't know. I haven't started on the inside all night, so we'll see.
Well, I mean, I think you're in good company on the inside. Dennis Wilder Jr. searching for win number 1 tonight. Eric Purcell, a longtime series vet, going to be starting second row on the inside, and Logan, you'll be right behind them. So you've got experienced drivers there on the inside, know what they're doing. Maybe it seems like all night though that inside line just has had a lot of trouble getting going. Don't know if it's due to missed shifts or really what the deal is, but hopefully that luck will change in your favor for this hopefully last restart. I say that knowing that there's probably going to be a couple more after this.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be the last one either. Looks like, let's see, 45. So, yes, we are going to have a natural green-white checker.
So Dennis Water out on older tires than the rest of the field hasn't proven to be a difference yet. As he was able to I mean, that's really the last thing he wanted to see with only a handful of laps to go is a caution come out. Just because, I mean, he had a second lead with not much time left, so pretty much had it in the bag, but he's going to have another good jump on the restart again and hope he can just get far enough away from Eckert, Purcell, Priest, and Logan to be able to win this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I haven't drove these cars very much this year, and lack of practice at this track, I'd be really happy with the top 5. It's going to be tough here. We'll see. I know everybody's going to be driving a little over their heads, probably, but I guess I'm going to have to do the same thing to keep up with them.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some interesting moves for the rest of this race here. Maybe some questionable moves as we go along.
110%. Yeah.
I mean, we already saw Eric dive it down on the apron once. You got to imagine a move like that's probably coming again. Didn't really have success with it though, so we'll have to see if attempt number 2 or maybe number 3 for some, for a different driver will work out. But pace car lights are off. Pace car will be pulling in this time. Dennis Wilder Jr. gonna lead us back to green here. Pace car off and field is green. Dennis Wilder Jr. with a good launch inside line, a much better job that time, as it looked like Priest was a little bit too tucked up to the back bumper of Johnny Eckert. Kind of forced Johnny to spin the tires, get a little loose. See Logan get a little sideways back there underneath Priest, and a little bit of contact. Logan, Priest, Logan on his side, Logan on his back, Logan. First of all, are you all right, driver?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Well, we've got the okay from the driver. Let's take a look at what happened. I mean, you pretty much said it best what was going to happen here. But let's take a look here. Go back on the replay. Into 1 and 2 with only a handful of laps to go. 3 drivers get together here. Let's see. We'll take a look on board, or we'll take a look at Logan here from the far chase. Going into 1. Looks like they're side by side. Priest, yeah, both kind of fighting for that same real estate. And yeah, I mean, Priest just really left himself no room, in my opinion. I don't know. There's a lot of contact in the corner that can always change where you think your line is versus where your line actually is established. But the unfortunate bit is for Mr. Twisted T at Travis Ellington. He wasn't really even part of that, and it's a face full of sun drops. So don't know if you tried mixing sun drop with your Twisted Tea, but it probably tastes about like that looks. Looks like Travis, though, going to stay out. Take a look at his damage here. Oh, his car's pretty beat up. Take a look at the front end there. It's halfway to a modified right now. So you gotta imagine he's gonna have to pull this thing in. He's only a couple spots from the back, so at this point, might as well go ahead and get something repaired. At least give yourself a fighting chance. You go out there with a car looking like this, it's just not gonna end well. You're gonna be at the back anyway, so might as well come in. Looks like he's doing just that.
Sorry, I was on mute.
You're okay. At least we got the okay from you. That was a rough hit. It looks like Dennis Water was able to hold off the charge from Purcell. that go round. Uh, Looks like because the field did not complete a lap, there will none of the positions, obviously, unless you're caught up in the wreck, but none of the positions will change. So even though I think Purcell had a good run on Eckert, may have been clear of him, or may have at least been ahead of him by the time the caution came out. Not too sure. Um, Nonetheless, he will have to drop back to third because the caution came out before a lap was completed. So these guys will reset back to where they were before, excluding the drivers involved in a wreck. So Dennis Water Jr., gotta imagine he's a little nervous now. I'm not going to say anything else. I feel like I've already said too much about that three-letter word that he's hoping to hear or hoping to see come across the screen whenever this race finishes. But it's looked pretty fast tonight, especially on these old tires. We'll have to see. Looks like pace lights are out. I do believe since we didn't complete a lap, this thing is going to be a single file restart. Logan, can you confirm?
Yes, it is.
Alrighty, so that's going to be even more difficult. We're definitely going to see some dive bombs here into one. But the field is ready to go here. Dennis Water Jr., Johnny Eckert, Eric Purcell going to be battling here for the lead with a green-white checkered. Pace car has pulled off into pit lane. Dennis Water Jr. looking for a good jump. He gets it. We're back green. Blink, 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 blink. Dennis Water Jr. able to get a good jump over Johnny Eckert, as he pretty much has all night. He's kind of had Johnny's number on the restart in the restart department. And that's going to make things even more challenging for Eric, as we saw Eric try to dive it underneath Johnny there going into one, but now with this caution coming out, definitely makes things interesting in terms of if Eric has enough on fresher tires. He's able to close up to the back bumper, but we are on the white flag. Dennis Water Jr. just one more time by. Johnny Eckert under fire from Eric. Eric not able to get to the inside. Johnny going to be able to clear out of the corner. Eric, though, looking for a big run down the backstretch. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough. He dives way down to the inside. He's close to him, but a good clean job from him to back out. But Dennis Wilder Jr., for the first time in Greasecar, going to be your winner here tonight at New Hampshire. As Dennis comes back around to the start finish to collect the checkered flag, do some burnouts, shotgun a beer, whatever he does. You know he's excited. He's been waiting for this for a while. We've seen him finish second how many times? Finish on the podium more than that. And it looks like he's trying to break the rear tires loose. I don't want to. You would think they're so worn they'd want to turn loose, but he's just going to swerve a couple times, maybe try it in the corner here on this low banking. Here we go. Get a little sideways. Tries to avoid the wall. I think, I understand, win one. Maybe not so skilled in the burnout department. It's definitely acceptable, something to work on as he goes for future wins. But now, looking to do the old Polish victory lap here in New Hampshire as he comes back to the checkered. And he's going to park it right there. Go collect his virtual checkered flag. Still trying to break those rear tires loose. But he's going to hop out of the car, go celebrate with the pit crew. We'll hear from him soon. But Logan, what an interesting night.
Yeah, interesting to say the least.
Yeah, a lot of contact between these drivers here. I believe I want to say it's the third week in a row. I don't want to speak too soon, but I know it happened last week with our winner Mike McConville, but Dennis Potter Jr. also going to take home the Buffalo Transformer Services Hard Charger Award. So that's 2 weeks in a row at least. It may have even been 3 weeks in a row that our winner has taken home the award for being the hard charger of the night, making up the most positions from start to finish of the race. So an excellent drive from Dennis tonight. Logan, any thoughts before we start to bring some of these guys up?
Oh, no, man. Let's go ahead and get it fired up.
All right, looks like it's going to be Eric first. Not seeing him in any of the voice chats as of right now. We will kind of have to circle back to, let's see, take a look here. Yeah, we'll have to circle back to Eric. If he doesn't join in, Eric, a great, I think isn't that him there? Or is it Wilder? I don't know. I can't, I can't keep, I think Wilder's would be Dennis. Trying to see where. Okay, looks like we do have all three. We'll go ahead and bring Eric up now. Maybe just taking their time, getting out of the cars and everything. Let's bring up Eric. Eric, this is Nathan and Logan in the booth. You got a copy.
Yeah, TFO.
Eric, man, we saw you absolutely dominate in that short heat race. And then looked like, you led most of the feature race, and then that pit stop happened. It seemed like you lost some time. Talk us through kind of what happened on pit road, if there was any miscues.
Yeah, first off, we got to thank old Hook Pirate for putting this on. Buddy makes some nice shirts and hats. That's my boy. He was calling the race from the pit box there. He told me to come down and get some fresh stickies. I think we should have probably stayed out there and just rode it out like old Dennis, and probably would have been good. But got to thank everybody for putting this deal on. Davis and Hook Pirate and everybody else involved, Nick Gowan, and I thank you.
Absolutely, man. Well, tell me, what was your strategy going into this thing? Because I definitely, I just jumped in tonight just to run with you guys. I thought maybe it was going to be a tire saving thing, and unless that caution would have came out, I'd have finished dead last because I was saving tires at the beginning. Were you in tire conservation mode, or were you just kind of full sending it there?
Nah, Bubba, we throw the sack over our shoulder, skinny pedal down, and get her done.
I hear you, man. Absolutely.
Love to hear it.
Just get out there and dig. It's this track here. You can't really save a whole lot of tire. It don't really burn them up. So we're just going from the green flag, wide ass open, and come on.
There you go, man. Well, you keep toting that left front like an astronaut fart, and we'll be good.
You goddamn right, Bubba. Come on.
All right.
Beg all that.
All right, Eric, before we let you go, I know you thank some of the sponsors and some of us, but anybody else you'd like to thank for tonight's podium?
Yeah, man, there's an old lady there off of 2 in a blue tank top showing her titties there. It was good stuff. I appreciate that.
All right, Eric, before I start her, I think I'm going to have to send you back down. Congrats to you tonight, man. Great to see you back here in the series. And, yeah, man, hope to see you again soon.
10-4, brother. You see that name right there? That's the best it never was. Rowdy Bloomquist. You mix Kyle Busch and Scott Bloomquist. What you got right here?
Absolutely love it. We'll see you later, Eric.
Thank you, boys. Y'all have a good one.
You too. And that is Eric Purcell trying to. Logan, can you move? It's not letting me move him. Not sure if. Oh, there it finally went. Okay. So P3, right. Eric Purcell with some good laughs. Let's go ahead. I'll go ahead and bring up Johnny Eckert, P2. Johnny, this is Nathan and Logan in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes. Hello.
Well, Johnny, I was in the driver's seat tonight. wasn't doing a whole lot, but tell me what the race was like for you. How hard were you pushing at the beginning versus the end, or was it kind of like equal thing all the way through? Just kind of curious on your end of it.
Yeah, early on, I was trying to ride. I didn't get any practice, so when I got into qualifying, were my first ever laps with this car here, and then in the heat, like I learned a little bit about things I can and can't do with the car, which came in a little bit handy towards the end. But yeah, the first half of the race, I kind of just rode. I was just trying to save my stuff a little bit, and then the caution came out. I opted to put 2 on, which I thought was going to help me a lot more than it ultimately did. But Dennis, he just said, all right, I'm going to ride the first half of the race. I'm going to pass everybody, and I'm never going to look back. No matter what I did, I couldn't catch him. I was struggling the first half of the race, too, to be fair, but trying to catch the car in front of me. Felt like every time you got to run, like you just got like stuck. Like it was, I guess the draft was just as strong for the car in front when I was in
Right.
third as it was for second as it was for me. So every time I would start to make ground, they would end up just balancing me out. So it
Yep.
was really, really hard to make ground. But at the end, I just think that the finish of the race came down to an absolute masterclass for Dennis, tire saving and having the track position.
Yeah, Johnny, I mean, we talked last week. I'm glad to have you up in the booth again this week. Another great run for you. Talk to me about your battle there with Brad before, Brad ended up getting spun by Eric there. But you guys were going at it like it seemed like forever there. Talk me through like kind of what's your thoughts were. We saw you guys switch lanes like a handful of times and try to get a run on each other. I mean, I know you talked about how hard it was to pass, but did you ever feel like at one point, is it better to back off just to stay in line in a sense? Because I think you guys were about a half second away from, P4 on back, and then by the end of that battle, of course, with Eric joining it and getting into Brad, they were right back up to you. Talk me through kind of what the thoughts were, or if it was just, hey, I want the position more than you do.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly wasn't worried about where I was finishing. I don't know what Brad's situation is in the points, so I didn't want to. I don't know if he's running for points or not, but I didn't want to jeopardize his race. But I really didn't want to give up the spot because in my mind, if we had another caution, or if Dennis's tires fell off, whoever was in second was going to be the guy that had the opportunity. So I was really racing really, really hard. And I knew from the first half of the race, because I was behind him, that he had this line in the corners that was just so difficult to get next to. Like you would get, if you started, you could go into the corner and send it a little bit to get near his outside, but then he would just drive you on exit. So I didn't know like what was gonna happen if I let him go, if I would ever see the spot again or whatnot. So I was just like holding on for dear life. And honestly, that may have been the most fun door banging racing, hard aggressive racing that I've had on iRacing in a very long time, because I swear we made contact half dozen times at least, and no one wrecked, no one had any, well, not wrecked from us making contact at least, but no one wrecked, no significant damage. Both of us were able to keep racing hard. So in my mind, I was just trying to hold the spot, and I imagine Brad was probably a little frustrated that I was putting up such a fight. But I really, really, really had a good time with that, and I really wasn't worried about what was happening behind me, because in that moment, all I was worried about was holding on the second with a possibility to fight for the lead and for the win.
Absolutely, man. Well, is there anybody you got to thank before we send you back down?
Well, first off, thank you guys for broadcasting. It was good racing with you there, Logan. I mean, I know you had a tough finish there, but the guy that you had contact with at the end may or may not have almost ended me on the restart right before that.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I don't,
he had bumped into me probably 5 or 6
yeah,
times, so.
yeah. So nothing against him or whatever, but I was I was a little upset about that whole situation before that, so it was kind of ironic that it happened. But yeah, good racing with you. Thank you for broadcasting. Thank you to Tucker Knaus and all of Greasecar's supporters for all that they do for the series. Thanks to Davis and everybody that helps put the show on every week. But thanks to Jake Bustos and Drew Halleck for supporting me through the race. And man, we had a good time during qualifying as I get on track for the first time, not knowing what was going on. So yeah, I had a blast tonight. It was really a good time, and man, I'm happy to be talking to you guys again this week.
Yeah, we're happy to hear from you, man. I mean, I think I must have put some magic in there when I said I'll see you next week last week. So glad that that worked out for you and for the
Yes,
broadcast and everything,
absolutely.
right? But yeah, we'll go and get you back down, man. Hope you have a good one.
Thanks, you too. Appreciate all you do.
All right, and that is Johnny Eckert, P2 tonight. We got one more guy to bring up, and man, I'm pretty Logan. I'm pretty pumped to bring this guy up because he's been up here a bunch of times, but he's never been up here last. Let's
Yep.
go ahead and grab him real quick.
Dennis Wilder Jr.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, it's been a long time coming. You put a show on for the field tonight. Finishing first, getting your first win of the season in Greasecar. How does it feel, buddy?
Man, I feel like that there's a weight lifted. I mean, I felt like I was Dale Senior at Daytona there for the first half of the year, and we'd have good cars and try to play the right strategies and it just, I don't know, man. It's like you could do anything you wanted to tonight in the car and it would respond. Like I'd made a choice that I got into Davis, but like he said, man, it's just he was trying to move around to try to find a line, and I was pretty much committed to the bottom, and just rolling the fuel, trying to back off 2 or 3 car lengths before them and save tire, because I knew in my head I was like, man, if you do the same thing everybody else does, it's just follow the leader, and
Right.
track position here is so big. I mean, you get a good launch on a restart. I mean, you can kind of control the rest of the race. And even Johnny there, me and him were talking, and he's like, "Did you not pit?" And I said, "No." I said, "Man, I knew in my head I had a plan going in that if it worked, I was going to look like a genius, and if it didn't, I was going to look like a field filler." So, it worked out, and it's been a long time, man. We've been working and trying to do things the right way, and hate it we missed the past. I feel like we come back, and it's going to be a good ending to the season anyway.
So Dennis, you just kind of talked about it, but the weight's off your shoulders, the monkey's off your back. Do we see you get another win here in the last 2 races? Now that goes for some drivers, they get on a roll, they just can't get stopped. So are you thinking that another one's in the cards for the last 2 races?
Man, I'd like to think so. I mean, you get on here and you race, and that's your goal every week, is to win and put on a good show. And it wouldn't be fun if it wasn't challenging. There's other guys out here. I mean, you got Drew that's won 6 or 7 races on the year. I mean, it's fun now. It's just you always want to beat the best, and you want to beat as many as you can. So it's maybe we can get this thing picked up and get us 20, 25 cars in here on a weekly show. It'd be a real good deal. So
Absolutely, man. Well, we appreciate you, and congrats on the first win. We're going to get you back down to your team. Congratulations again, man. We're looking forward to seeing you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, and that is our winner tonight. First-time winner, Dennis Wilder Jr. in the 002. Man, it's good to see him on top of the boards, Logan. I mean, we were just talking about it. I didn't want to jinx it. I said it a couple times when he was in the lead, but when the lap count got low, I started to get worried that I might jinx it, especially with all the cautions coming out. Glad to see he finally gets win number 1 of the season.
Absolutely, man. It's been a long time coming for him.
Well, before we close out tonight, 2 things, but any takeaways from the race? Anything else you wanted to talk about around that?
You're cutting out a little bit, so I couldn't quite hear you.
I was
But
saying
you
any
can
other
continue with whatever
takeaways?
you're doing.
Any other takeaways from the race you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of rivalries, new rivalries after tonight made. So that's always interesting.
I love to keep up with the on-track and the off-track drama. Well, I'll do my best to try to keep everybody in the loop during the broadcast periods of what's been, obviously you'll see the on-track stuff, but if there's anything off-track, we'll definitely be sure to let you know. That always, drama is views, in my opinion. So we'll have to keep up on that. But yeah, I mean, as we look ahead here, I know we talked about this earlier, but only 2 races left for the 2024 A season. So it's going to be getting tight. I mean, I think Drew Wooten crashing out tonight might close that gap a little bit, but we will for sure have an update next week of what the points look like. If there's anybody that has secured or locked up a position for the end of the season already, we will definitely be sure to let you guys know. Logan, any other comments before we sign off?
Well, man, y'all just be sure to click that like and subscribe button, hit that notification bell so when we're streaming every Wednesday. And I'm not sure if Davis is still doing the Tuesday night races, but yeah, that way you'll be alerted for all the upcoming races.
Absolutely. Make sure to stay in touch. Feel free to put stuff in the chat as well. I will do my best to read it out and provide updates to any questions you guys have during the races. So feel free to do that. But also a quick shout out to our sponsors. So, of course, TK Racing Diecast for the title sponsor and race sponsors, the Castle Motors, Kicking the Tires for the heat race sponsor, Panzer Performance, and of course, couldn't forget them, Buffalo Transformer Services. So thank you to all of you guys for your sponsor or your support every week. I even saw Hooked Pirate. Special shout out to you for the race sponsor tonight. I saw you in the chat tonight. So hopefully it was a good one for you. Hopefully it was a good one for all the viewers at home as well. But I think with that, my name's Nathan Mon, joined by Logan Joyner. That's going to do it tonight on Grease Vision. Have a good one.
Later, y'all.